Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 7. I code so others can dream. That was how Rebecca Heineman described her purpose, and it's how she'll be remembered. A pioneer, a champion, and a voice for change, Rebecca's journey shaped more than just games. It transformed lives. She passed away at the age of 62 after a brief illness, leaving behind a legacy that reaches far beyond consoles and keyboards. At just 16, she stunned the world by winning the National Space Invaders Championship. The title made her the first ever national video game champion. It was only the beginning. Rebecca moved from player to programmer with stunning ease. She helped launch Interplay Productions, home to iconic titles like Baldur's Gate and Fallout. Her imaginative mind gave life to classics like The Bard's Tale 3, Wasteland, and Dragon Wars. Her technical mastery brought beloved games like Wolfenstein 3D to new platforms. If a game felt ahead of its time, chances are Rebecca had touched it. But her legacy didn't stop at the screen. She was proudly visible as a transgender woman in tech, coming out in 2003 and never stepping back from her truth. She served as a guiding light within Amazon, Microsoft, Sony, and GLAAD, never just taking space, but making space for others. Her marriage to fellow designer Jenel Jaquays showed the power of blending visionaries in work and in life. Honored with a Hall of Fame induction and named 2025's gaming icon, Rebecca's influence stretched across generations. Viewers of the Netflix series High Score saw her light up the screen again, as that fearless teen who once conquered a video game world that didn't yet know what it was becoming, because she was still creating it. Fellow developers and fans continue to share tributes. One message read, "Rebecca's life was a blueprint for courage. She broke barriers so others wouldn't have to. She's survived by her children and remembered by countless artists, coders, and dreamers." Rebecca Heineman didn't just change gaming, she used it to change the world. Tributes to Rebecca Heineman. Number 6. His leadership lit a path for so many of us, quietly, steadily, and with unwavering conviction, said a fellow public servant after news of Elzie Odom's passing. That legacy lives on. Elzie Odom, who passed away at age 96, changed the landscape of public service in Texas and beyond. A dedicated leader and bridge builder, he inspired generations through his work in government, community advocacy, and civil rights advancement. Raised in the historic freedom colony of Shankleville, Odom's early life instilled in him a deep sense of justice and purpose. That purpose led him to break barriers, first in the U.S. Postal Service as one of the first black postal inspectors, then in local government, helping reshape how city leadership could look and who it served. In 1997, Odom made history as Arlington's first black mayor. He focused on creating opportunity for youth, seniors, people with disabilities, and communities of color. More than a figurehead, he was a hands-on leader. Under his guidance, the city saw improved infrastructure, strong public engagement, and key projects completed ahead of schedule, including paying off the ballpark in Arlington. Before his mayoral tenure, he served with distinction as the first black member of the Arlington City Council. There, he worked to increase minority representation on city boards and led strategic efforts to retain key employers and teams in the city. His leadership wasn't about headlines, it was about lasting change. Elzie's strength, humility, and deep compassion for others set him apart. Alongside his wife of over 70 years, Ruby, he devoted time to the NACP, launched programs for black children, and remained active in church and civic life. Together, they raised two community-minded children, Elzie Jr. and Dr. Barbara Odom Wesley. Odom passed peacefully after a life full of purpose and impact. His cause of death was related to natural causes. In remembering Elzie Odom, former colleagues called him the soul of inclusive leadership. For the people of Arlington and far beyond, he will be remembered not just for what he achieved, but how he made people feel seen, heard, and valued. Tributes to Elzie Odom. Number 5. She had the most amazing sense of humor and told stories that made you feel like you were right there beside her. That's how family remembered Dawn Little Sky, as a joyful spirit, a gifted storyteller, and a radiant presence who lit up every room. Dawn passed away peacefully in Rapid City at the age of 95, leaving behind a life filled with groundbreaking achievements and unwavering love for her community. Born on the Standing Rock Reservation, and later educated at Haskell Indian Nations University, Dawn's journey was anything but ordinary. She famously became the first Native American to work in Disney's storied ink and paint department, hand-coloring animation cells for treasured projects and setting a powerful precedent for artists to come. Her creative path led her on screen, where she appeared in well-loved Western series like Gunsmoke, Rawhide, and Daniel Boone. Alongside her husband Eddie Little Sky, she also starred in films such as Duel at Diablo and The Apple Dumpling Gang. Decades later, she returned to the screen in Neither Wolf Nor Dog, continuing to share her culture and talent with new generations. In the late 1970s, Dawn and Eddie shifted their focus from Hollywood to helping their community in South Dakota. Dawn became a director at a cultural center in Eagle Butte, where she taught art, mentored youth, and encouraged Native pride. Her impact earned her South Dakota's Indian Living Treasure Award, a tribute to her lifelong dedication to Native arts and education. More than her roles or accolades, Dawn was known for her kindness, laughter, and deep sense of purpose. She lived each chapter of her life fully, as an artist, an actress, a cultural leader, and a beloved matriarch. She is survived by her children Tojen, Prairie Rose, and John, along with a large and loving family that spans generations. Her passing followed a full life and a peaceful goodbye. Details of memorial services will be shared in time. Dawn Little Sky's story continues in those she inspired, with every brushstroke, every screen moment, and every lesson passed down. Her legacy is one of courage, culture, and creativity. Tributes to Dawn Little Sky. Number 4. When you don't compromise, you don't get corrupted. You remain free. Those words, often spoken by Jards Macale, defined a life powered by bravery, truth, and radical creativity. At 82, Jards passed away in Rio de Janeiro from complications related to lung issues, followed by cardiac arrest. His final days were marked by the same spirit he'd brought to Brazilian music for over 6 decades, singing, joking, and leaving traces of brilliance even in the quietest moments. Born in the heart of Rio, Macale's sound rose from the hills where samba echoed, the radios that played Orlando Silva, and a family home filled with music. He carried that energy into every corner of his work, whether on stage with Gal Costa and Caetano Veloso, composing unforgettable songs like Vapor Barato and Hotel das Estrelas, or acting in groundbreaking Brazilian films. A proud outsider in the Tropicalia movement, Macale was never afraid to challenge the mainstream. He mixed samba with rock, poetry with protest, and always refused to conform. Even when others followed trends, he carved new ones, earning him the nickname Anjo Torto, or Crooked Angel of Brazilian music. He performed across continents, studied with Brazil's greatest music teachers, and helped launch the careers of others, including directing Maria Bethânia's first stage performances. His songs were interpreted by legends like Clara Nunes and Orapa, speaking to generations with raw honesty and fearless rhythm. Beyond music, his spirit lit up cinema and theater. From composing film scores to acting in art house classics, Macale brought the same fearless experimentation to every role he touched. Critics celebrated his work well into his 80s, with recent albums earning praise and nominations in Brazil's top music circles. When news of his passing reached the public, tributes poured in. Maria Bethânia wrote simply, "My love, my friend, you will be deeply missed in this world." And in his own words, Macale left us this guiding thought: "I don't want to be modern anymore. I want to be eternal." His music, his courage, his voice, they all live on. Tributes to Jards Macale. Number 3. She had a way of making characters feel like old friends, once said a fellow writer about Charlotte Bingham. It's this unique gift for storytelling that touched millions of lives and firmly established her as one of Britain's great literary voices. Charlotte Bingham passed away peacefully at the age of 81. Her family shared that she died following a short illness, surrounded by love. Her words carried warmth and wit. Her characters lived and breathed across more than 30 novels, from sweeping historical sagas to heartfelt tales of love and resilience. She gave a voice to women's experiences with empathy and charm, rendering moments from wartime Britain to high society with stunning detail. Charlotte burst into public life at just 19 with her memoir, Coronet Among the Weeds. It was bold, candid, and funny, an instant bestseller. That playful honesty carried through her career as both a novelist and a screenwriter. With her husband Terence Brady, she brought richness and dynamism to British television. They collaborated on beloved series like Upstairs, Downstairs, and created the witty sitcom No, Honestly. Their work brought humor and heart into countless homes. In her books, storylines blossomed into series like the Debutantes saga and the Nightingale novels. These stories became more than books for readers. They were treasured escapes, filled with warmth and romance. She was recognized with awards, including the Romantic Novel of the Year. But those closest to her cite her greatest qualities as her kindness, creativity, and laughter, the energy she brought into every room and every page. Author and friend Joanna Trollope said, "Charlotte wrote with grace, but it was her generosity of spirit that made everything she touched sparkle." She was the daughter of 2 accomplished writers and carried that legacy proudly. And yet she carved a path entirely her own, by listening, observing, and writing what she loved. Charlotte Bingham's impact on literature and television is lasting. Her voice continues to echo through pages and screens, reminding us of the joy found in the everyday and the power of a well-told story. She is survived by her 2 children, and by the countless readers and viewers who found a piece of themselves in her work. Tributes to Charlotte Bingham. Number 2. She taught us that hair was more than style. It was power, identity, and joy. Maurice Jaden Harrison, known online as Girl Lala, shared so much more than just hairstyling tips. She built a space where creativity met courage. With vibrant wig creations, candid wisdom, and unstoppable energy, she transformed screens into safe havens for thousands. At just 21, Maurice had become a trailblazer. As Girl Lala, her playful tutorials and touching honesty gave life to more than just strands of hair. They gave voice to her experience as a young, black, transgender woman. Her presence online wasn't just popular. It was vital. From viral challenges to heartfelt confessions, every post reflected her truth. She turned hairstyling into art, using each design to express resilience, pride, and joy. Her influence stretched far beyond beauty trends. It sparked real discussions about identity, mental health, and belonging. Fans loved her boldness. Friends admired her warmth. In a world that can be harsh, Maurice showed grace, humor, and endless generosity. One fan wrote, "She made us feel like we belonged, even on our worst days." Her passing, the result of a tragic shooting, has left the social media world in mourning. Yet amid the heartbreak, something powerful has emerged. A wave of unity. Artists, influencers, and supporters have come together in her honor. Rapper JT contributed to her family's funeral fund and called for stronger protection for Black trans women. Others continue to demand justice and awareness. Maurice's legacy is rooted in more than viral moments. It's in every person she made feel seen, every young trans girl who found courage because of her, every style she shared with love and flair. Her family, friends, and community continue to honor her light. Though gone too soon, her voice carries on in the beauty she created and the lives she changed. Tributes to Maurice Harrison. What's trending on the internet? News 1. A life well lived. Remembering Diane Ladd. You know, sometimes we lose someone who's touched so many lives through their art and grace, and the whole world feels a little quieter. That's how it feels this week as we remember the legendary actress Diane Ladd, who passed away peacefully at her home in Ojai, California. Diane was 89 years old, and her passing marks the end of an extraordinary chapter in Hollywood history. Her daughter, the acclaimed actress Laura Dern, shared that her mother left this world surrounded by love, with family by her side. In a touching statement, Laura described her mother as her hero and profound gift, calling her the greatest daughter, mother, grandmother, and actress that dreams could have created. What made Diane so special was the incredible span of her career. Over more than 7 decades, this Mississippi native appeared in more than 200 films and television shows. She earned 3 Academy Award nominations for her unforgettable performances in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, Wild at Heart, and Rambling Rose. Beyond these celebrated roles, Diane graced the screen in classics like Chinatown, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and so many others that have brought joy to generations of families. According to her death certificate, Diane experienced respiratory challenges in her final years, but what's remarkable is how she continued to shine and inspire everyone around her right up until the end. As we say goodbye to this magnificent artist and empathetic spirit, we're grateful for the legacy she leaves behind, a lifetime of beautiful performances, genuine warmth, and a reminder that true greatness isn't just about the roles you play, but the love you give to the world. News 2. Here's some uplifting news for football fans everywhere. Bernie Kosar, the legendary Cleveland Browns quarterback and hometown hero from Youngstown, Ohio, is feeling optimistic after a successful liver transplant at University Hospital. Kosar, who's 62 years old, has been courageously fighting health challenges, including cirrhosis and Parkinson's disease, but shared with fans that he's now on the road to recovery and grateful for all the support. Bernie first captured the nation's attention as the star quarterback at the University of Miami, leading the Hurricanes to their very first national championship back in 1983. After heading to the NFL, he became the face of the Browns through nearly a decade of thrilling seasons, steering his team to 4 playoff appearances and setting records for consecutive playoff games with 3 touchdowns and completions without interceptions. He even earned a Super Bowl ring with the Dallas Cowboys later in his career. Through every challenge, Bernie's spirit and love for his family, fans, and the game have shone brightly. Today, as he looks ahead with hope, we celebrate not just his inspiring comeback but also the legacy he's built on the field and in the hearts of countless supporters. Bernie Kosar reminds us all that with grit, gratitude, and community, every day can be a victory worth cheering. News 3. If you've ever found yourself cuddled up watching Ray Donovan, you'll be glad to hear some encouraging news about its Emmy-nominated star Lev Schreiber. Over the weekend, Lev, 58, experienced a sudden and severe headache at his home in New York City. Acting on his doctor's advice, he went straight to the hospital where he spent the night and underwent a series of tests. Thankfully, the prognosis is good. Lev's representative has confirmed he's able to speak, walk, and has the full use of his limbs, with doctors officially clearing him to return to work. For longtime fans, it's a relief, especially since Lev has courageously shared his battle with intense headaches in the past, including a memorable story about forgetting his lines on stage during a migraine episode. As Lev gets back to doing what he loves, his resilience and openness continue to inspire not just his colleagues but his audience as well. We wish him continued strength and good health, and hope his journey reminds all of us to listen closely to our bodies and never hesitate to seek help when we need it. Lev Schreiber's dedication to his craft and honesty about personal challenges are just a couple of reasons he'll always be remembered fondly, and we can't wait to see him back in action soon. News 4. Have you ever noticed how a challenge can bring couples even closer together? In North Carolina, Glenda and her husband Rick are finding more reasons to count their blessings after Rick was diagnosed with metastatic prostate cancer. Instead of letting the news dampen their spirits, this couple is making every minute count, cherishing each day with gratitude and love. Glenda and Rick's journey began when routine testing led to an unexpected diagnosis, a moment that changed their lives forever. But rather than retreating, they leaned on each other, turning to laughter, open conversations, and genuine affection to get through even the toughest moments. Glenda says she's so grateful for any time I get with this man, a sentiment that resonates deeply with anyone who values the company of a loved one. Their story is a touching reminder to celebrate togetherness and to focus on what matters most: love, family, and living fully in the present. Glenda and Rick continue to inspire their community, showing that hope and humor can light even the most challenging of paths. This couple's courage is a beautiful testament to the power of resilience, and they remind us all to embrace life's blessings, one day and one smile at a time. News 5. When you think of courage and resilience, actress Selma Blair's story offers both in abundance. Now 53, and familiar to many from her iconic roles in Cruel Intentions and Legally Blonde, Selma has spent the past 7 years showing the world what determination really looks like as she manages life with multiple sclerosis. Diagnosed in 2018 after nearly 3 decades of unexplained symptoms, she's been remarkably open about her toughest moments. Yet today, she stands in a new chapter. Selma is celebrating 2 years of being relapse-free, crediting the support of her doctors and her own positivity as she regains her stamina and focuses on healing her mind, body, and even her skin. Beyond her health journey, she's now launched her own skincare collaboration, showing that challenges can spark fresh beginnings. From motherhood to advocacy, Selma Blair continues to inspire by finding hope and opportunity in every trial. She reminds us all, when life gets tough, there's always room for healing and even a new adventure ahead. News 6. Remember, stop the insanity. In the 1990s, that unforgettable catchphrase, and the powerhouse behind it, Susan Powter, got America moving. Susan, who's now 67, burst onto the scene with her trademark platinum buzz cut and fiery honesty, encouraging millions to rethink not just their fitness, but their entire relationship with food and wellness. Susan's rise was nothing short of meteoric. She built a health empire, authored bestsellers, starred in her own talk show, and brought hope to everyday folks with her plain talk and real-life experience. Her message was always clear: fitness and health should be accessible to everyone. But life took a surprising turn for Susan. After leaving Hollywood and weathering difficult business battles, she found herself living simply, even delivering food for a living in her 60s. Yet, through every setback, Susan's inner spark never faded. Her story is one of perseverance, reinvention, and an unbreakable spirit. Today, Susan's inspiring journey is being rediscovered in a new documentary produced by Jamie Lee Curtis. The project shines a hopeful light on her life, showing how even after enduring hardship, Susan's message of self-worth, empowerment, and possibility rings just as true. So as the world gets ready to hear Susan Powter's voice again, we're reminded that real strength isn't just in the body. It's in never giving up on yourself, no matter your age or circumstances. And that's a legacy worth celebrating. Number 1. A genuinely good soul who brought nothing but positive energy. Rest in paradise, Maxon Margiela. Those words shared by a fellow artist capture the heart of who Maxon Margiela was. Known offstage as Mason Reyes, Maxon passed away at just 21 years old, leaving behind not only music, but memories that moved thousands. Born and raised in Orlando, Maxon burst into the music world with a raw, fearless energy. His 2024 debut single, Mansion, caught fire on TikTok and SoundCloud, setting off a wave of viral hits including Austin Powers. In just under 2 years, he did what many only dream of: signed a major deal with Columbia Records and released a debut album, Filthy, that marked him as the voice of his generation. Maxon blended vulnerability with swagger. His lyrics spoke to Gen Z struggles, honest, emotional, often wild, but always real. With every freestyle, every festival stage, he proved that passion didn't need years to shine. Beyond the music, Maxon was known for his kindness and generosity. He met fans in person. He answered messages. He never acted too famous for anyone. In an industry often full of ego, Maxon led with heart. He openly celebrated his influences: Young Thug, Kodak Black, Kanye West, but never imitated. His style was all his own, bold, messy, and unforgettable. With over 100,000 monthly Spotify listeners and live performances that left crowds buzzing, it felt like he was just getting started. Maxon passed away peacefully, with his family confirming the news. His sister, Maya Reyes, shared a touching tribute, and fans worldwide flooded social media with memories, lyrics, and heartbreak. He wasn't on top of the world yet, but everyone who heard his work knew he was headed there. Maxon is survived by his family, beloved sister Maya, and a fan base that believed deeply in him. His life may have been short, but his influence is lasting. His music still speaks, and for many, always will. Tributes to Maxon Margiela. To dance is to live twice, the Kesler twins once said, a sentiment that perfectly captured the rhythm of their extraordinary lives. Alice and Ellen Kesler, the unforgettable twin entertainers who lit up European stages and television screens for decades,